Hi everyone, it's Erin from the Provincial Farmhouse. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be doing some French country thrift flips. I'm going to be using the fleur-de-lis and birdsong molds and the traditional pots transfers from IOD. I'm also going to be using Jovi air dry clay. You can find a full product list in the description of this video and all your crafting needs on our website, theprovincialfarmhouse.com.au. Let's get started. I found this sweet little piece at the thrift store and I think that it can be used for keys, but I also thought that it could definitely work as a little jewelry organizer. So it already had some nice details and you can see in there it was in pretty good condition. So I thought that we would give this a little bit of the IOD treatment. After cleaning, I'm adding 2 coats of Dixie Belle's Tea Rose Chalk Mineral Paint. This is a really beautiful dusty pink and I think it could definitely work for girls of any age. There were quite a few little nooks and crannies, so I'm being sure to rotate my piece so I can get a better angle with my Dixie Belle Mini and ensure that I'm getting good coverage. Next, I'm dusting my birdsong mold with cornstarch and then I'm going to work some Jovi air dry clay into one of the smaller bird designs. So I'm just using my thumb to push the clay out over the micro rim to get a tidy casting and then I'm pulling it out. I'm then going to use a strong wood glue to glue my bird in place in the center. I also decided to cast 4 of the little fleur-de-lis shapes from the fleur-de-lis mold. I thought that they would look really cute in the corners. I then used the same wood glue to glue each of them down. You can see that I'm also gently manipulating and shaping the molds to suit my surface. I'm just doing this very gently so that I don't damage any of the details. I'm also using a wet wipe to wipe up any excess glue. Next, I'm adding some more tea rose to my castings, but I'm being very gentle because they are still pretty fresh. I'm then using Dixie Belle's Satin Clear Coat to seal my entire piece. The clear coat is going to help with our next step when we use the glaze. When the clear coat is dry, I am using Dixie Belle's Grunge glaze over the entire piece. The clear coat's going to allow me to wipe back the glaze in any areas that I feel that it's too heavy. So I'm going to be using a paper towel here and also a wet wipe where I want to remove more of the glaze. I really wanted this to have more of a vintage feel. If you don't like an aged look, you could definitely leave this step out if you're going to try this look. When the glaze is dry, I'm coming in with a medium grit sandpaper and I am using it on all of the edges. Again, this is going to help give it a weathered look. In the areas that were tricky to reach with the sandpaper, I'm using a small flathead screwdriver to gently scrape off some of the paint. This is a lot easier at this stage because my paint is still pretty fresh. Just be very careful if you're going to try this. Finally, I'm going to add a touch of gold gilding wax in certain areas. And here's our finished jewelry stand. I'm really happy with how this sweet little jewelry box turned out. Let me know what you think of this project in the comments. Is this something that you might give a go? Our next project is this little box that I got at the thrift store. I think I paid about $1 for it. I thought that it would be a really cute little keepsake box to have on a coffee table. The inside was in really great condition. So my first step was to remove the little latch attachment. So I'm just using a screwdriver to very gently remove each of those. And then I'm going to put those in a Ziploc bag to make sure that I don't lose anything. There was a little sticker on the back, so I'm removing that and I'm giving it a good clean. I'm then using Dixie Belle's Sawmill Gravy, which is a really pretty off-white, and I am applying that color to all of the sides of the box. I'm even going over the hinges a little bit. I'm not worried about that. I'll give it a little bit of a distressed look a bit later, and I'm also going to paint the inside little trim bits there. I'm going to have to use a little artist brush in certain sections so that I get the paint where I want and not on the lining of the box. When all my paint coats are dry, I am spraying on some of Dixie Belle's Satin Clear Coat. We are then going to use a design from the IOD's traditional pots transfer. I thought that the little birds there inside the wreath would be perfect sitting on top, so I'm cutting out that design, saving the rest for later. And then I'm going to peel the backing off and I'm going to position my transfer in the center, and I'm just holding it above the paint until I have it where I want it, and then I'm going to smooth the design down. Once I have my transfer in position, I'm using the plastic transfer stick to rub and burnish the design down. I'm going over the whole design to start off with, and then I'm going to pick a spot on the transfer and I'm going to start rubbing. I'm also lifting the plastic as I begin to rub. Now, this was a pretty textured surface. This box had a lot of texture on it, so I did find that I had to do a little bit more rubbing, and this was quite an intricate design as well. And I just found that I had to be patient and make sure that I was making sure that each of the designs had transferred before I lift the plastic up too much. There were a few sections that were particularly stubborn, so I found that if I sort of folded my plastic right over and I could see the edge of the transfer, that I would gently press that down and then continue rubbing. I found this to be a bit of a helpful step. I then sealed my transfer and the entire box again with another coat of Dixie Belle's Satin Clear Coat. I then grabbed my little latch attachments and applied those again using my screwdriver, and I was very careful not to be too rough with my paint. I decided that I wanted a bit more of a weathered look, so I'm coming in again with some of Dixie Belle's Grunge Glaze, and I added the latch before this step so that I could have some of the glaze accumulate around that so that it would look a bit more authentic and weathered. I'm also adding that to the latches a little bit there, and I'm using a paper towel to wipe off any excess. And in the center there where the transfer is, I'm just wiping back a bit more so it's got like a bit of a halo effect. And here's our finished keepsake box. I just love how IOD's transfers can take something relatively plain and turn it into something special. Let me know what you think of this project in the comments and if you've tried the traditional pots transfer. Our final project is this lovely frame that I found at the thrift store. It was made of plastic, but it definitely looked like one of those older metal frames. My first step was to take it apart, so I'm removing the screws either side and taking out the glass, and after cleaning I'm adding several coats of Dixie Belle's Drop Cloth Chalk Mineral Paint, and you can see as I'm painting that the lighter colour really brings out all those beautiful details and carvings. I found that I had to stipple and dab my paint into the details to make sure that I didn't miss any areas. Painting photo frames is a really easy way to update the decor in your home, or you could go and grab some older frames from the thrift store, paint them up, and then give them as thoughtful gifts. So as I said at the beginning of this project, these frames were made from plastic. If this wasn't going to just be a decor item sitting on the shelf, then I would have used Dixie Belle's Bonding Primer Slick Stick, but the chalk paint has really good adhesion, so I'm not worried about my paint sticking. Once my paint was dry, I came in with a coat of Dixie Belle's Satin Clear Coat, and you've probably guessed it, yes, we are going to come in with one of my favourite products again, Grunge Glaze. I'm now coming in with the Grunge Glaze, and I'm dabbing and stippling the glaze into the details. Now, I know this look isn't for everybody, but I love how the glaze really highlights all of the details. And again, it gives it that vintage look that I really adore. So I'm working it into those beautiful curves, and then I'm using a paper towel to wipe back the excess, but I'm letting it sit into those beautiful carvings. I'm repeating the same process on the base of the photo frame. When the glaze is dry, I'm going to use some of Dixie Belle's gold gilding wax on some of the details. When that's dry, it's time to put the frame back together. I thought that the image that came with this frame was quite cute, so I'm leaving that for now, but I could always change the image later. And here's our finished photo frame. I'm really happy with this project. I think it's amazing what paint can do, and I think that this is one that I'm actually going to keep. Let me know what you think of this project in the comments. Has it perhaps inspired you to give a frame that you have lying around a makeover? If you liked today's projects, please hit that like button and make sure that you check out my other thrift flip videos. If you're not already, I would love it if you could hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of our DIY projects. You can find the products used on today's video on our website, theprovincialfarmhouse.com.au. Thanks for watching.